Sarasota, the freezer. Thanks, guys. That's 9 degrees. Will, welcome back. We missed you last week.
Thank you, Craig. I missed you guys.
Where were you? Now, you're a fireman, right?
Firefighter, paramedic, and I do occasionally have to work. I'd rather be golfing or playing music, but
well, we're proud of you for being a fireman. Let's hear it for Will.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
How is everybody enjoying the pizza tonight? Yeah! Rico's Pizza. Shout out to Rico's Pizza. Thank you, Rico's, up on North Trail. And
here's your paper.
oh, can you get that, Nick?
You're getting the Weekly Planet delivered to you?
Yeah, well, I've got special privileges over there. I just wanted to point out something now that this is here. Weekly Planet this week, while we're taping, on page 20, is an article about us. Wait a minute, where's page 20?
It's probably where the paperclip is, Craig.
Yeah, but I don't have opposing thumbs. So page 20 of this week, and of course, when this show airs, it'll be long gone, so you can come to, or you go to thefreezershow.com to read this article if you haven't read it already. Big shout out to Mark Sanders. Thank you, Mark, for writing such a great article. And I've also got to thank the crew. Every week I mean to do this, and this show wouldn't be possible without everybody that works on this show and works for free. Everybody's volunteer, and I really want to thank everybody for that. Nick is the only person that's paid, actually, but we're going to work on that. Okay, so tonight we've got some emails, some letters from the viewers. So let's dip into our email letter bag. Dear Nick and Craig, the show is great. Hector rocks. Does everybody know who Hector is?
The monkey.
He's the monkey. Hector. You guys should think about covering him up, though. My mom has to look away when she comes on the screen, when he comes on the screen. Hugs and kisses, Julie in the Lakes. Well, we covered him up, so I think that'll help. Let's see. We've got Hey Freezer Show. Oh, this one's for you, Nick. Nick, you owe me $200, you little weasel. Don't make me come down to that studio, in quotes, and take it out of your butt. Love the show. More stand on the street, not signed. Something I should know about?
I get it. It's no big deal.
Okay. Dear Freezer Show, love the show. I discovered you guys while I was waiting for How's Your Hearing to start. I'm hooked. One complaint, though. Can you fix the audio? The volume's way too low. Irv on Longboat. It's all, he's written it.
It's all capitals.
It's all in capitals. And then finally, Hey Freezer Show. Hey, is that a typo, you think? Hey Freezer Show?
No, that's hey.
Hey, okay. Great show last week. You guys just keep getting better. And I just can't take my eyes off that sexy host, tall, dark, and handsome. Yummy. Steve in Bradenton.
You've got a fan.
Yeah. Okay, I think it's time to move on. Stand on the street, right? You guys made up last episode.
Yeah.
We've got a new Stand on the Street, so let's take it away and take a look at Stand on the Street.
All right, we're down here with Stan and Stuntman back on the street with the freezer, and we're at Ed Smith Stadium. Can I touch your rosin bag?
I don't think so, Stan. I think that's for personal use only. What kind of questions are these?
Can I touch your rosin bag?
You gotta buy me dinner first.
Is it okay to cheat in strip poker?
It depends who you're playing with.
It's not cheating if you don't get caught.
Depends who you're playing with.
Of course. I don't know. Depends who you're playing with, I guess.
Is it okay to cheat in strip poker?
Well, that's a toughie. I'd say probably it would be.
Absolutely not.
Pine tar or Vaseline?
Pine tar.
Pine tar or Vaseline?
Has to go with Vaseline. Definitely pine tar.
Pine tar.
Pine tar.
Definitely Vaseline.
After waiting 86 years to win the World Series, what can you guys do to top that?
Win it again the next year. Just repeat it again next year.
We're the Reds, not the Red Sox.
What can who do to top that?
Cincinnati Reds.
The Reds have won a World Series in 1991.
Well, where's that guy with the long hair and the beard they call Santa Claus?
He's probably looking for that other World Series about 86 years ago.
Let's go.
great. That was a good one.
Thanks, guys. Hi, Nick. I
Craig.
forgot to mention, I'm Craig and this is Nick. We didn't say that at the beginning of the show. We assume everybody knows who we are now.
No.
What show is this, 7?
Yeah, and they haven't read the article yet, so we shouldn't jump the gun.
Right. And they haven't seen the show.
Nobody's seen the show.
Nobody watches. Okay, well, let's bring out our first guest of the evening. Who am I looking at? Our first guest is a charter sport fisherman, and he owns a company called Warbird Charters. Give a big hand to Captain Rob Roberts. Thanks for coming.
My pleasure.
Welcome to the freezer. So tell me, what is Warbird Charters? You take people out, obviously, to fish?
Charter fishing, yep. We go out in the Gulf and do an assortment of
Different
fishing.
types of
just
fish?
Grouper, bottom fishing, drift fishing, trolling, whatever
How
they
far
want.
out do you go?
Well, depending on the length of the trip, a half-day trip averages 9 to 12 miles. 8 hours, we go up to 30 miles out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's out in the middle of nowhere, right? I mean, you
Well, it's kind of nice
can't
out
see
there.
anything.
Yeah.
Any land, I mean.
That's
Do you
right.
have a supply of Dramamine?
Yes.
Does that work?
Not for you, but for the people you bring out.
I don't dispense medicine. I just tell them beforehand, if you have any inkling of getting sick, then just take it. It's better to be safe than sorry.
Sure, sure.
They want to have a good time out there, They don't want
How
to
many
get
people
sick.
do you usually, well, how big is your boat and how many people do you usually take?
It's a 31-foot boat, typically four people.
Okay.
Is
And
the
where do
average.
you go out?
New
Where-
Pass Bait Shop out on City Island.
Okay.
Out there where Moat Marine
Moat
and
Marine.
Salty Dog and
It's the best hamburger in Sarasota.
that's
I might.
right on the water.
Yes.
It definitely is, no doubt.
And not even on the water, both ways. On the water, inshore, offshore.
What about the Salty Dog over at Siesta Key? Is that a good one too? I think the owners are here. So you take out, how many, you say 4 people at a time?
Average
usually?
4, yeah. I can
Okay.
take up to 6.
And have you had any weird adventures with these? I mean, do people usually get pretty drunk and fall overboard and?
No, not very often. That doesn't happen. People take care of themselves pretty well with the alcohol part, but once in a while we get somebody that gets seasick,
Oh, really?
heavy duty.
Like how heavy duty?
Like the day that 5 went out and 4 came back.
Tell us about that. How does that happen?
Well, it started out at pretty decent, 5 to 10 knots, running out in 2-foot seas, and as the further we went, the rougher it got, and we got 30 miles out, and it was probably 4 to 6 foot. And this poor guy he was sick all day long.
I'm getting seasick just thinking about it.
And his friends, of course, they were all paying divvied up their share of money to go, so they were not about to go back in just because this guy was sick. Well, it got to the point where he got dehydrated and he went into shock.
Oh, he was dehydrated because he was throwing up
Right,
and
throwing up.
not drinking anything?
Right, and not drinking water. So
he went into shock.
he went into shock. He started freaking out, and his face got all tingly, he said, and his arms were, he started to hyperventilate.
Was he clawing?
Hyperventilating, and I had to make him blow into a paper bag to calm down, and then I got on the radio to the Coast Guard. And the Coast Guard, I told them what was going on. They said, we're coming out to get this guy.
Oh, really?
So,
and meanwhile, his buddies are all just fishing and drinking.
This sounds like you on Cinco de Mayo, Craig.
I'm dehydrated. So what, the Coast Guard came out
yeah,
to meet you?
we met them halfway out. They wanted to get this guy off the boat and get him to some medical help. And they took
then
him
you
to
went back out fishing? Or?
No. We went in. We
you
were
did?
done. Yeah, that was it.
So his buddies were pretty pissed off, huh?
No, we pretty much made the full day.
Which is why the guy went into shock.
Right.
8 hours
exactly.
later. So is that the worst?
That's the worst thing that's ever
worst
happened
case
on
of
the boat.
sickness?
Yeah.
And you brought a picture along. What is this? Can we show this? Hey, Phil, can you get a shot of this? Phil. What is this?
That is a long-billed spearfish. It's probably one of the rarest billfish caught in any of the oceans of the whole world. And we caught it right out here in the Gulf of Mexico, about 90 miles out. And that's Dr. Andy Peterson over there. He was a podiatrist. He's retired now.
So this is a sailfish, but it's a bill?
It's not a sailfish. It's a long-billed spearfish.
Spearfish, okay.
Spearfish, yeah.
I knew that.
I knew you
I was
did
testing you.
I know.
And
Is that the trivia
you
question?
release these, right? You catch and release them?
Always. All billfish I let go. I don't kill any billfish.
And what do you keep? What do you usually keep?
We keep grouper, we keep snapper, some amberjack, dolphin, wahoo.
This is a
That's a dolphin, mahi.
mahi.
Yeah. A lot of people, when you say, "Oh yeah, we eat dolphin," they kind of freak out and they think we're killing flipper.
Right. Different
you know?
kind of. It's a dolphin fish.
It's a dolphin fish.
Not a dolphin mammal.
Right.
See, I knew that.
Yeah.
Oh wow, what is that? Is that a tuna? What is
That's
that?
a permit.
You got that?
Pompano.
Yeah, it's a cousin of the pompano, except it's more of an offshore fish here. Now down the Keys on the flats, they fish for those out of the little.
And these are all good eating?
We don't kill permit either. We
Oh.
release them.
Why is
It's
that?
a game fish.
You guys want to clap for that too?
I'm one of those conservation-oriented captains. I try to just, you know, keep a little bit for a meal or two, and then we just let the rest go.
Wow, that's great.
Yep.
I was in a catch and release program as well with cow.
Cow. Over in Nebraska.
Part of a vegan
during
group.
Your college.
Yeah, I was a liberal in college. Bad scene.
Well, Captain, we're out of time. Thanks
Okay.
for coming out. It's
My
great
pleasure.
meeting you. And would you stay around for the trivia challenge? We'll do a face-off with. Did I even mention this at the head of the show? Who's on the show today? This is our Mr. Roberts edition.
That's right.
We have Captain Rob Roberts, and later on we're going to have Reverend Don Roberts on the show.
So who's
tonight.
Jack Lemmon and who's Henry Fonda?
Was Henry Fonda in Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Okay. Did everybody get the Mr. Roberts reference?
No, we got a young crowd here.
Young crowd. All right, well, let's take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll bring out the Reverend Don Roberts, and then we'll go into Trivia Challenge, so stick around. Thanks a lot for coming.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be right back after this. God, you guys are good. Welcome back to the freezer. Let's bring out our, is this our second guest or our first guest?
It'll be our second guest.
Thank you for those keeping track at home. Our second guest is a United Methodist clergy, and he also is the president and CEO of Goodwill Industries Manasota, Inc. Please give a big warm welcome to the Reverend Mr. Donald L. Roberts. That's quite a title.
That and
a
I'd
mouthful.
buckle buy you a tie at Goodwill.
So tell me about Goodwill. Since I've moved here, I've noticed more than anywhere else in the country that there are Goodwills on like every corner. Is that something that you guys, is that Sarasota only, or is it everywhere?
Really, in Sarasota, Manatee County, our Goodwill Industries is privileged to be the #1 Goodwill Industries in the world in terms of making it convenient for folks to help others through our network of Goodwill Good Neighbor Centers.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. That deserves a round of applause.
And we're grateful. We're grateful.
So, as the CEO, are you in charge of just the Minnesota area or the whole country? You said you were kind of in different states as well.
Yeah, we have a development corporation here called Mission Development Services, and we operate Goodwills in Edmonton and in Toronto and Flagstaff and Reno and Memphis, Tennessee, and Sao Paulo, Brazil, and a few other places.
So you must travel a lot.
We do. I spend a lot of time in the air. I do.
That's great. And you're also, it says here, a United Methodist clergy.
41 years, yes.
Right? Now, how did go from being a clergy reverend to being the head of?
Goodwill was started by the Methodists to put the unemployed Irish Catholics to work in 1902 because the Episcopalians wouldn't hire them.
Ah, okay.
Because of the prejudices of the day, and Goodwill started that way. And so when it came time, if they needed some more leadership for Goodwill, the bishop said, "Don, you're going." And I said, "Yes, sir."
And how long ago was
31 years.
Wow.
Yeah, a long time. A good time.
That's great, yeah.
It's a fun time.
Now, on a more serious matter, I understand you're also a nudist.
I am.
Now, explain that. Do you,
well, I mean, if
you recognized him, Will?
We played 2 nudist colonies, Craig.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Nude?
Absolutely.
When
Well, I had a tie on.
When in a row?
That's for a different show, I think. I want to have you on.
Now, do you have a card? I mean, are you official?
Are you a card-carrying
I
nudist?
have an official card, even in my wallet.
Come on, let's see it.
No, all right.
Now, while you're whipping that out, what does that mean? Thank you, Liz.
Be careful about that.
What does that mean, you're a nudist? Do you go camping in the nude?
Well, there are wonderful nudist resorts throughout Florida.
There's one in Kissimmee.
There's one at Kissimmee, and it's a great one. And if you've never had an opportunity to try that, you should.
Yeah, I think I'll be out there this
See,
weekend.
you should try that. You know.
Card-carrying member. Oh, you get your wife's name on TV. She's
That's
gonna
true.
love you for that.
She's gonna. Yeah, she will. Yeah, she will. She will.
Did you guys get that in the booth?
Hey, what can I tell you? But yeah, I mean, it's
Apparently a lot.
Exactly.
You can tell us a lot.
Now, I'm not changing the subject because I'm going to get back to this, but you also, as a reverend, you marry people, don't you?
I do, lots of them.
And have you married anybody in the nude?
Never.
Really?
No, the bride always wants to wear white.
Just a veil.
We've suggested it a couple of times, but had no takers.
Now, you married...
That's where I recognize you from.
Huh?
That's right.
That's right. I performed your mother's
Yes,
blessing.
right.
Yes,
That's right.
Your mother's and Bruce's wedding blessing. Yeah.
So you blessed his mom and husband's wedding.
Yes,
Okay.
indeed. Indeed.
So you didn't marry them, but they got married somewhere else.
They
and
went to
came back.
Vegas and did that number, and then they came back here and got a respectable wedding.
And you were dressed
yes,
for that?
Yes, I was dressed appropriately for that, yeah.
Great. Well, I want to thank you. They're telling us we're out of time. I want to thank you for coming out.
My
And
privilege.
Would you stick around for the trivia challenge?
Absolutely.
So we'd love to have you on again.
Okay.
Sometime.
Anytime. Oh!
Whoa.
Oh,
I've heard of this group.
Oh.
I've heard of this group.
Have you heard of this group?
There's a clergyman that thinks he's pretty tough here.
Yeah, these guys are they're a rogue group that try to intimidate men of the cloth.
I can see this. I can
So
see
you don't
this.
look very intimidated.
I'm not intimidated.
I'm
right.
sorry, Reverend. Do you mind?
No, not at all. What is
Okay,
this?
here we go.
What? We a little action? Oh.
Let's get him!
Oh!
Oh!
Get out of here. Are you sure you want to do this? There's free pizza and young boys out front.
You say young boys?
Oh!
Take a rain check.
This one.
Oh! All right. Here we go. Let's get him! Oh, yeah!
Reverend Don Wells, come get some.
Thank you, Reverend. Thanks for coming. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Welcome back. Grab a cool beverage. It's time for the Trivia Challenge face-off. Over to Nick.
Thank you, Craig. All right, gentlemen, the rules are simple. I'm going to ask you 3 questions. This is best of 3. In case there's a tie, we go to a tiebreaker, which is closest to. This is not Price is Right, so it's closest to, not over under. You ready?
We're ready.
All right, here we go. First question. Who founded Goodwill?
Edgar Helms.
That is correct. Edgar Helms it is. Reverend 1, Captain 0.
How do you know that?
Next question. What is the catch limit per person for a red grouper in Florida? Captain.
2. Something
That
smells
is correct.
fishy.
Yes. Okay, we have a tie. No reason to buzz in. Reverend, I'm going to ask you first. Captain, I'm going to ask you second. Here we go. You ready? How many kills does a lion make in a year on average? And this does not include zoos.
17.
I'll say 25.
20. Reverend Don Roberts is the winner. You win.
Oh, isn't that nice?
For your pool.
Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Captain.
My pleasure.
That's our show, everybody. Thanks so much for coming. We'll see you next week at 9 o'clock. Good job.